Oh, hello, hello. Hello, anyone out there? Password. Hello. Hey, JFix, I see you in the chat. Hello. Lucian, Emin, Macropup. And there's David. I'm doing well, sir. If I can get all my toys to work. I've been trying to stream for a little while, and my capture device didn't want to work, then my microphone didn't want to work, and now my on-screen multimeter doesn't want to work. It still doesn't want to work. I don't know why. My laptop will not connect to it. This doesn't make any sense. It's been working fine, no troubles. I'd like to use it. I guess, I mean, it's a laptop I've got hooked to my Signet multimeter through USB. And it normally just connects, no problem. At least it has, and today it's like not gonna participate. I can just put a meter down beside the supply here. I'm gonna be working. I've got a couple of supplies I need to fix. And I thought I might just stream. Oh, I didn't see, excuse me, Swindon getting those bad M92s. I've gotten some that, well, the vast majority of the ones I've received just worked. All right, this is not, this is not working. Connected device. Oh, you do see it. Today you see it. Oh, okay. No, now it's going to work. And now it's working. All right, that's some weird stuff. Oh, you like the sound effect the meter makes? I can turn that off. It just hasn't bothered me that much. The little startup sound. Yep. You can turn it off in the settings. I've seen it. I just haven't done it. I do like that display, though. I had to replace this display. I bought this meter, I guess it's been a year ago, 2 years ago. Got it from Ben Heck in 2023 with a bad display. Bought an aftermarket display, put it in there, and yeah, I have enjoyed it. And I can still use it. I just kind of thought it'd be neat to have the overhead one. Macro Pup, I saw your question. I don't know. I'm not much for customer repairs. I'll consider it, though. I'll consider it. Just as of lately, I've just been so covered up with stuff. Not just repairs. We're doing a lot of yard work. It's springtime. It's time to start cleaning things up, so I've been out in the yard a lot. All right, power supplies. You love them, we hate them. Well, we mostly love them. I fixed a PS5 yesterday that had dead supply. I didn't do a video on it because I thought it was kind of boring, just a dead supply. If I was doing a video, I would have, repaired the supply as part of the video, but I didn't feel like it, so I just swapped one I'd repaired before in there, and I set it to the side. So need to fix this one. And in the floor here is another PS5 that I believe has a dead supply also. A totally dead one. I believe it's dead, and so we're going to open that one up too and hopefully get it working. And at least get that stuff done. Okay, you can email me, Macro Pup, if you'd like, but we'll see. I've done a few repairs for people. It's just, there's so many. There's so many. Get this thing opened up. This may be a simple repair. I don't know. I just needed to do it, so I thought I would just do a stream. And then nothing wanted to work. Apparently because of a software update of some kind on my computer. It breaks things sometimes. Oh, I wonder how many of you have seen power supplies to the PS5 Pro. Well, I have one right here. I've been studying. Here's a PS5 Pro power supply. Yep. Whereas the regular PS5s, I think, are rated at 400 watts. This thing's rated at 420, I believe it is. Oh, Dave, the box of, honestly, behind me here is a box full of power supplies that I have not touched. It is full of power supplies. I'm guessing 20, 25 in there that I really need to look at. Asking about soldering. For SSDs, if I'm doing an SSD on a PS5 SSD controller, I'm kind of using my preheater to heat the board up, and then I'll use like 400 Celsius because I got the preheater. I can get away with it. And that's why I use the preheater. It lets me use a little less hot air from above, but I'll use the preheater, heat the board up, and use 400. I use 400 for a lot of things. But anyway, if I thought some of you might be interested, I'm doing a little reverse engineering on this supply. Had to buy this. I paid $90 for this thing off eBay. It was the only one I could find. It's working perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. I bought it just to study and reverse engineer for in the future because I figure I'll be seeing these things, soon. So why not get ahead of it? All right, dead supply. This is one of those lovely green boards. 400 DR AAA. That's such a lovely shade of green. Okay. Oh, about full of putty stuff. Yeah, the JFix. I know the Xbox ones are puttied up. I have fixed an Xbox supply. I think it was a 1S. I'm considering about getting into Xbox repairs a little bit more. Thinking about it. I've stuck with PlayStations because it was what I knew. I'm not sure if I can be effective on Xboxes and PlayStations, but if I can focus on one or the other, I can do pretty well. So that's why I've kind of stayed with the PlayStation. That, and there's more of them. I mean, there's just tons of them out there. So many more to pick up. Broken ones, that is. All right. This one was dead. Let me see if we have a blown fuse. I'll try to keep up the chat. I'm not terribly good at it, and I apologize for that. But also the monitor is like way off to my right, and I can't really read it from here. I need to lean that way. My eyes aren't that good. Fuse? Fuse is good. And what I really should do before I go any further is discharge these capacitors. you know, don't get bit. And now I have to dig for my capacitor discharge tool. There we are. Like I said, I'll try to keep up with chat, but I'm just not proficient at it. But yeah, I worked on a few slims. These, of course, these are the most common ones. These DRs, ERs, and FRs, and they're all very similar. Not identical, but they're very similar. Let me discharge these capacitors right quick, like. And that looks like that one's already discharged pretty well. So, we are safe. So what do we have? If this fuse is good, if this fusible resistor back here is good, and it is, then most likely our MOSFETs are good. We don't have a short on the output, do we? No, just some capacitors that are charging up. So I'm afraid this is going to be a very boring repair. I mean, there's no roach damage, there's no burn marks. Probably going to be a bad DAP 053 because they will just die. Let me see if I can switch to diode mode, and we will go through. Let's see, do I have, I don't think I have an overlay. Oh, you're driving? Yeah. I listen to things on YouTube all the time while I'm driving. Can't really watch. All right, now where is pin 1? I think I see it. Let me get me a good ground. A good ground, which is going to be on one of these filter caps right here. Good common point. Pin 1. Oh, yeah, that's, yeah, 0.03. That's not right. I don't have the, where are my notes? I think I saw them laying over here the other day. The ancient scrolls. But I know 0.03 is not right. Yeah, that should be like 7/10. And 2. Oh, 2 is also. Yeah, that's shorted. 3 is good. 4 is ground. 5, good. 6, good. 7 is no connection. It's a spacer, basically a high voltage spacer. 8, 9, those look good. I mean 10, 11. 11? Yeah, a little bit low, but 12 is a spacer, high voltage spacer, so there's nothing connected. 13, 14, 15, that's very low, 0.139 on 15. And 16, okay. So, we're going to have a bad DAP 053, but we may have some other bad things. I'm wondering if this is lightning. All right, let's see. I'm not going to popcorn this board. I think I did a video recently where I popcorned one of these boards because I had my hot air was set on 400, and I don't normally do that high on these boards. 350 is what I usually run. And it was set on 400, and I was too lazy to change it, and I popcorned it. Not that it's permanent damage. A pure picture of that? Oh, okay. Well, I've posted it before, if you want. It's just some notes. I don't know. Is that going to fit? There you go. Those just some diode readings around the DAP 053, around the various opto isolators, and some of the other chips. This was done on a What does it say up there? DR, yeah, DRAAA. It's just some notes I made. Nothing fancy. And I think I have shared them in a video before. Okay, I know I was going to switch to the microscope. I forgot what I was doing. Forgot what I was doing. That looks okay. Okay, now I'm going to run my heat down to 350. And I'm going to do what I should have done the other day. Of course, these chips are glued down as part of the, going through a reflow oven or whatever it goes through. So I just like to heat it up and pop up the corner here to break the glue loose. But if I do 350, I don't seem to have a popcorning problem. Of course, you could take a knife and cut the legs off, or side cutters, which I've done that too. And usually I'll add, there it goes, a little bit of solder to these things, but she let go pretty well. All right, now I'm going to check. We had shorts on 1 and 2 at least, I believe, here. Shorts gone on 1, 0.53 on 2. That's probably acceptable. I had to short out another pin over here somewhere. It's just going to be the DAP053. I'm 99% sure. And yes, I will replace that with a TEA2016. You can use a TEA2017 as well. But I have a lot of these 2016s. Now on the slim power supplies, I like to use the 17. Seems to work a little bit better. Make sure I get this turned the right way. I have done that before, mounted it 180 degrees out of phase. And some things got really hot really fast. Just sit there on top of those little, just sit there while I get the hot air. Yeah, sit like that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. All right. Thought you would just sit there, but no. These legs look to be a little bit tarnished. So, and I bought these from Mouser. I mean, they're not some kind of fake chips. They're genuine, but they are a little bit tarnished. See if I can get this to flow right up that leg. Yep. Oh, David, you're welcome. Of course. $425 on the main caps. I've seen $425. The only time I've seen it that high is like if I'm running one and it has a load and I take the load off of it, it will kind of overshoot, seems like. But that's about as high. It should not run that way all the time. Like if you just fire it up with a load or no load, should run right around 395 to 400. Like I've just seen it overshoot when a load's taken off of it suddenly. You know, go from 5 or 10 amps to 0. And that voltage is pretty well set by, you know, these voltage dividers. Where's that divider? Where is that divider? 7.5 meg, 7.5 meg. Is that the ones? I'd have to follow it all the way in. I think that's probably the ones I have to look at something to see. Man, I got flux everywhere. But yeah, there should be. Where does that go? I'd have to look at the data sheet where that PFC feedback voltage is. It's I want to say like pin 3 or something. And I've had one with that voltage running way high. I mean, it like damaged the capacitors high. And one of those 7.5 megs was cracked. If it's steady at 425, that sounds too high. That sounds too high. Let me find the data sheet to this TEA 2016. Not there, not there. There it is. Bear with me. Where is the PFC feedback? Sense boost is 2, and the current is on 3. Is that right? Current sense for the PFC is on pin 3. Boost voltage is on 2. If that's what I recall it being, pin 2. Yeah, there's a Zener, and there's 100K. I think if this is what I remember. 7.5 meg, 7.5 meg, right down through here. Not there. 750K ohms. Right through here, right through here, right through here, right through here. Okay, it does go off to a MOSFET that way. But 10K ohm to ground, there's our filter cap, there's a Zener, and into pin 2. That's pretty much it. So if your voltage is running high, I would say you've got like 3 resistors to look at in this chip. I mean, that's pretty much all that's involved. There's a Zener to limit the voltage there. Otherwise, there's a, this should go off, there's no way I'm going to follow this. Yeah, to this MOSFET here. Because it's a shutdown method. If you yank that sense voltage down to ground, it's a signal to shut this thing down. And they're using that here. Like this should be, the gate of this MOSFET will come from one of these, if I remember correctly, opto-isolators here. So it's part of the shutdown circuitry from the other side. It yanks that sense voltage down to 0 and shuts it down. And I have made a mess here of flux. Let me heat this up a little. Flux goes everywhere. Anyway, all right. I think I got her down. Let's see if this thing works or not. Good morning. Bug damage. Oh, Tom, if you, I would look real closely if you got bug damage. That board is clean in that whole area, because you're dealing with in the megohms of resistance. If there's any kind of alternative path, it's going to screw up that divider. I mean, it's pretty high impedance. You think about it: 7.5 megs, 7.5 megs, 750k ohms, and was it 100k to ground or something like that? So, kind of important that those resistors are spot on, and that there's no other leakage paths, none whatsoever. So I would clean that whole area really good. But also, you look at that 100k ohm to ground. But that's pretty much all that's involved in regulating that, is that divider chain going into the feedback of that chip. I do have some resistors that I ordered for those 7.5 megohms, because I've had to change them before, because I had one that cracked one time. Yeah, this is what I've used. Oops, let me switch to the other view here. We need to test this power supply out anyway. I got 0.1%. I don't know if you can read that part number. These things are not cheap, by the way. They are rather expensive. But that's what I've replaced them with before from Mauser. But they're pretty good tolerance, 0.1%. It looks like I've used 3 of them, but it's kind of a critical divider. Oh, I squish worms. All right, are we ready to check this power supply? I don't even have my my load on there. Let's see. Yeah, you can kind of see things there. Let me get the. Oops, sorry, my dummy loaded the picture here. Oh, come on. Cable's a little tight. Professional video production here. Oh, and it's got, well, some of you may hear that. The last PS5 I worked on had a very nice M2, a one terabyte M2 in it. I kept that. I don't know if I'm going to put it in my PS5 or give it to my son. I mean, it's nice though. Works. Somebody just left it in there. And the story behind the PS5 was the guy said he got it at a rummage sale. But it had, what did it have? A dead encoder, HDMI encoder, and a dead power supply, I believe. So anyway, my PS5 is still wrapped up in bubble wrap from a year ago. That's how much I play on the PS5. But anyway, I'd never found one of those. Yep. Yep, we're working on some power supplies. We are working on at least a couple of power supplies. All right. And make sure I get my little pieces of solder far away from the device. It's going to be producing 400 volts and 12 volts at 30 amps or something. I'd rather keep the solder away from that. The power is off. We'll dial that down. I guess I might need to adjust this where you can see the my AC, variable AC supply here. Maybe, let's see if we can get into some DC voltage on the meter. And Oh. Connect the load. Set for 10. I'm going to bring it down to like 5 amps as a starting point. Turn that on. And I will meter this voltage across this power supply right here. What am I forgetting? Anything? Or I'm going to bring it up slowly. I think it's right about 90 or 100 volts AC in is where you'll see it start trying to run. So let me just dial this up. Yep, there it goes. Oh, 8.8. So we are working, but we have low voltage. Where's my meter? I don't have my meter on screen. Oops. Well, you can see there it's running about 8.8 volts. So, low voltage like that, I believe that is a bad MOSFET. Q34 sounds familiar? Yeah, I think we've got a MOSFET that is breaking down. I think that's what we have. Yeah, I'm doing more and more streams because I have some time off. I've had 2 weeks off solid. And I got to go back to work next week. A few days, but then, unless something comes up, I'm normally off over the entire summer. So you can get sick of seeing me. You can get totally sick of seeing me. So, I want to say it's Q34. Let me go back to the microscope. I think it's Q34 is what breaks down and causes that low voltage. That one right there, that one we were just looking at earlier. All right, tell you what, let's we'll just lift it. It's part of a shutdown circuitry. It doesn't have to be there. Now, I'm not going to leave it out. I'm not that stupid. But for testing purposes, just to see if that's what's holding our voltage down. Oh, I forgot to discharge these caps, didn't I? Somebody should have reminded me before I stick my hand down in here. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it. Not going to bite me today. Yeah, it only had 290 volts across it. That's all. Didn't get me. All right. All right, I discharged it. I'm sorry, you couldn't see, I know, but I was discharging it. We're all safe now. I'm going to see if I can just kind of like lift this thing like this. Yeah, like that right there. So I've lifted the, that's the drain of that MOSFET. Lifted the drain of that MOSFET. Now let's see if she comes up to voltage. Positive, negative. You can't see. I'm sorry. Yeah, I need to add the meter too, I guess, don't I? Let me see if I can add the meter. How hard can that be while you're in the middle of something? Add. Video capture. Add an existing meter. It's probably going to take up the whole screen. Yeah, I knew it would. All right, let's delete that. because it has to be scaled and cropped and all that. Okay. Load is reconnected. I'll bring this up slowly. No, we're still 8.8. It's not that Q34. What the heck is it? All right, so we have a problem. We have a problem. We are going to discharge before we do anything stupid. All right, everything's drained. Trying to remember, is there another MOSFET that causes that? Isn't there a Q33? All right, let's go back into the microscope a second. Yeah, they use these exact same supplies for 240. Kind of neat how they designed that. We're, use the same supply worldwide. Alrighty, what am I missing here? Q34 is lifted. That shouldn't be causing us any. Q32. Q32. No. Or is it? Trying to remember something. Q34. Q32 is connecting to, and I do have some diode readings for Q30. Where is it? Thought I had some diode readings for Q32. Apparently not. In the past, though, when this has happened, it's not usually like dead short. It just like gets leaky. Where does this connect? Where does it connect? Okay. Doesn't look to be going anywhere. Connects to here. Is this a multi-layer one? Is that what they're doing? Let me look at the other side. Oh, it is a multi-layer. It is a double-sided board. I forgot about these. Because most of the ones I run into are the cheaper, beige-looking ones with all the jumpers on the top side. So it's multi-layer. Well, fancy. So it's kind of hard to track where that goes, but we'll figure it out with a continuity mode. Let me just lift Q32. I mean, I can guess at it all day, or I can just lift the thing. See what happens. Yeah, I'm going to remove the solder from I'm trying to remember. Trying to remember something. I'm going to lift 2 legs on this one. And it may not run at all now. May not run at all now. I can't remember. I have to figure out. Oh, I discharged the caps. I did. It's all good. It's all good. I'm not sure if this is going to run at all now. We need the let's see what she does though. All the way down. There we go, 12 volts. Okay, so it was that other MOSFET. Okay, yep, 12.03. Sorry, was my arm in the way? I apologize. She's running. So we do have one of those small MOSFETs that's bad. I knew it was one of those MOSFETs, couldn't remember which one it was. All right. That looks good. So this may have been a touch of lightning damage. If it got that and that MOSFET. Can't help but think that there was a surge involved in something. And I should make some notes as to what it was, but I probably won't. Discharging. All right. So I'm going to need a W4R MOSFET. W4R. Here we go. And I label the drawers with the part number and the code on it, so I don't have to hunt around too much. If you're interested at home, that's not going to focus too well, is it? There they are. And these actually are marked W4R, identical. And looks like I have used quite a few of them. I can set it over here. All right. Oh, my isolation transformer, it is not a high-powered one. It's a variable AC. It's just like a multi-tap thing in there. I don't know if that's a toroidal type. I haven't looked at that close, but it's only rated at 2 amps. So it is not, it is really just barely suitable for what I'm doing. But then again, I only use it for testing. I only use it, you know, for a low power. It won't supply enough current to this thing for full power tests. This thing's rated, what is it, 30 amps, 32 amps or something? 31 amps? 12 volts at 31 amps, which is a lot today. It's, yeah. So, yeah, I couldn't use this for a full power test. I plug it straight into the outlet. But this is really good for easing up the voltage. And if I've got a short, as I ease this thing up, that supply will start humming. It will let you know there'll be a growl come out of this thing. You know, okay, go ahead and dial it back down. We got a short. There's no point in trying to kill anything. But Normally it just makes a slight hum of it, but when it really starts to growl at you, you know you've got a short. Just shut it down, find the short. Let's switch to the microscope. I need a better way of doing this, but all right, so that one, Q32 is our bad one. And I need to remember to solder that other one back down. See if I can get this thing off. Even these little tiny ones are glued down. I believe they are anyway. I'll just pry that leg up like so. Come on. All right, now I just gotta grab the stupid thing without it flying across the room. These are really too big for this. Oh, I ruined it. Why is it so difficult? Just come off of the board. There we go. Yeah, the glue is still holding. All right, finally. Finally. Now where did I put that MOSFET? W4R. There you go. Okay. And I gotta remember to touch that other one, touch the legs up on it that I lifted. Beautiful. Let me just use this little pencil. Oh man. Guess I bumped against that capacitor there. It just bothers me that the solder's not smooth on it. And then we need flux, and one thing leads to another, and then you're wasting time. Oh well, I guess I'm not in a hurry. Not in a huge hurry. I've already swapped out this supply, so this will become a spare. We do have another one to look at, but we're gonna have to take it out of the chassis. All right. Beautiful. We talking about high voltages? Yeah, I used to work around very high, dangerous voltages. High voltages with feeling. High voltages that if you got on it, it would not even know you were there. It would just cook you. And broadcast transmitters from the 40s and 50s, they built those things back then just brute force. That's how they knew to build them. Everything was just brute force. And they overbuilt everything. And, you know, all tubes. So, you know, in plate voltages in the kilovolts. And it would not even know you were there if you got on it. If you're lucky, you tripped a breaker, but you probably wouldn't. Ah, good times, good times. All right. All righty. Is this fully functional? I need to let me bring the, so you can see, because I am going to kind of run the current up on this thing a little as it's sitting here. I know it's going to work, but I do like to test it a little. I can't go 30 amps, so can't do it on that. I mean, I can if I plug in the outlet back there. But I have to make sure I have a fan putting, you think about it, there's no airflow on this thing right now. So you don't want to run it too long at too high of a load. If there's no load on it, you could probably run it forever. Not really generating any heat. Loads on, yeah, just give me 12 volts. Thank you. Got 12 volts. All right, that's at 5 amps. I'm going to run this up to 10 amps. Oh, and that voltage is not very accurate because it's probably still, if we check it, it's still going to be 12 volts. It's just drop across these leads. .068. All right, and how much current are we drawing here? We're drawing about 1.25 amps. I'm sorry, you can't even see that. Did I bump that thing? Maybe I did. I'm monitoring current. There's voltage, 120 volts. There's the current. It's kind of pulsing because it is a switching supply. Well, we're a little over 1 amp, 1.25 amps, something like that. It's only rated at 2 amps. Let's just monitor that current a second, and I'll show you. There is a fuse in there I've had to replace. There's 11 amps of load, 12 amps. So we're pushing it, 1.5 amps on the AC. Don't want to blow my fuse today. Back down to 5 amps. She's going to work fine. She's going to work just fine. So, let's move on from this one. Put it back together. Stick a note on it. So that was one DAP053 replaced with a TEA2016. And one 2N7002 MOSFET. Which you'll find, if you work on these things, they use a couple of different versions of this thing. I can't remember which one. This is the W4R. There's one that's just a plain, small MOSFET. And there's one that has some extra protection diodes in it. I can't remember which one's which off the top of my head. I think it's the other one. The one marked 704 here. You'll see these also in them. And one of them has some protection diodes built into it, and the other one does not. That's the only difference. It was too easy. It was easy. I've done a few hundred of these, I think. I don't know. I'm not sure how many I worked on. I haven't worked on any in a while because I haven't needed to. Let me drain this. Normally I just fix the power supply in the PS5, and put it back in there. I'll just use my spare ones you know, for testing. What am I doing? I'm discharging capacitors before I start handling this thing. Let's put it back in the chassis. Still had over 200 volts, just under 300 volts ahead on it still. I did not check. You know, I should check. Now that I think about it, I should check this PFC voltage before I say it's good. Let's do that. Let's meter it. Because I definitely don't want it to be, you know, over 400 volts. Because capacitor is rated for 450. I should have checked that. But I was pretty certain it was working. When I saw it come up with 8 volts, I was pretty certain that everything was working. But it is good practice to confirm that voltage is good. So we'll do that. Just, I'm going to get this back in the shot for science. I'm trying to get rid of that glare. All righty. Okay, we ready? Let's give it some voltage. I still got the load on and connected. And there we go, 393. All right, let me turn the load off and see if this overshoots, like what I was talking about. I'm going to turn the load. It's on 5 amps now. I'll turn the load off. See it shoot up over 400 for a little bit, then settle back down. If I turn it back on, you'll probably see it undershoot a little. Load's back on. And if I do this at, say, 10 amps with the load on and turn the load off, yeah, it overshot a little bit more, like 407 volts. So, yeah, there's a little overshoot. But it should not be running, you know, above 400 full time, I don't think. They always run about 395 to me. So, let me turn that back down. So, and you can see here with no load. Is the load off right now? Yeah, there's load on. Load off. She overshoots. Settles down about 393 or something. So there is some overshoot. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up on chat a little. Yeah, most people don't work on power supplies, and probably most people should not work on power supplies. It's one of these things, if you're deathly afraid of it, you don't need to do it. I'm not afraid of working on them. I respect them. I very much respect them. But just to me, if you're afraid of it, you can't work on it. Just don't. But you should very much so respect them, because they will bite you. And yes, I've gotten bit before. And it doesn't feel good. I'd rather not repeat it. Can we see that? I have tried to discharge one of these capacitors one time and forgot that I still had the AC power going into it. And I'm trying to figure out, why won't this discharge? Why is it still holding 390 volts? Oh, wait. It's still on. Haven't done that in a while, though. All right. So this one checks out. I had forgotten about this version. There's different versions of this 400DR. I think this is the AAA, and there's AAC, I believe. And this is a multi-layer board in there. I had forgotten about that. Very pretty. I like that kind of an emerald green color. Very nice, very nice. So yeah, we end up replacing the TEA2016 or DAP053 and one MOSFET 2N7002 marked W4R. And I did not put a meter on it. Maybe I should have. But I mean, they don't usually short. They just seem to break down and get leaky, which is usually kind of a good sign that lightning has come calling for you. Snap in there. All right. Oh, there we go. All right. Where's my sticky notes? Okay. Sticky note time. I need to get me some stickers, repaired stickers. I'm thinking about ordering some of those. EDP 400 DR. And I'm writing that on there so I can just look at it at a glance and not have to, if I need a supply, because the FR, this is oriented different, you kind of have to sit there and stare at it. Is this the DR? And anyway, so this way I can just look at it right quickly. I do need to tape that on there though, because that won't stick very long. And I'll know that's a DR. All right. Now, that's done. Now, and there's our DAP053 in the garbage. Let me move these chips out of the way, because we're going to need a little more room on the workbench here. Going to need a little more room for a full-sized PS5 Fat, which feels strange calling them that, but that's what they are, I guess. Let's see. Okay. Let me just show you what this one is doing. Oh, that's not a very good shot, is it? Maybe I should lay it on its side. They're rather large. Oh, the other chip I couldn't. Yeah, I found the DNP014s. Yes, I have those. That is used in the FR. And yeah, I was able to get, I think I bought 20 when I bought them. I was looking for my parts drawer. And I can never find them if I'm looking for it. But I know it's up here. I know it's up here. I do have those, though, the DNP 014s. Yep. I know I did, somewhere. Can't find it right now, but I know I have them. So if we need one, I don't think we'll need one for this, with this one though, because this is a 1015, which means this probably is going to have a DR in it. I was going to show you what it was doing before I open this thing up. And this thing is beautiful. I was going to do a video on it, but I'm like, it's just a power supply. And, it'd be kind of boring, especially if I just swapped out the supply. Okay, so can you see my meter here? This is connected. I'm going to flip this on and give this thing 120 volts. And what should happen is this comes up to 120 and you'll see it dip down. And you probably can't hear it. This transformer makes a humming noise. It kind of vibrates because of the surge current of the power supply in here, if it's running. So I'm going to turn this on and watch that meter. Didn't dip. Didn't do anything. It just sat there. That power supply is dead. Because if that's a lot of capacitance, in the front end of this supply. And to charge those caps up, there's got to be a surge of current, and there was no surge. So I'm saying this is going to be a dead supply. And just a dead supply. Who knows? It could be a dead supply, a dead south bridge. But let me get that out of the way. Put these covers. And can you see? Sealed. I mean, it looks like it just rolled off the factory floor, except for that hair in there. The hair that's under the fan shroud. Interesting. So yeah, this thing has never been opened, I think, unless they, you know, fake warranty stickers do exist. That is a thing. But I mean, this feels like it has never been removed. I just have a good feeling that this thing, oh, okay, somebody has walked a disc out. That's kind of messed up, that little sticker over that, you know, manual eject hole. So, I apologize, but I've got about 100 screws to remove, so bear with me. I do like it when they haven't been opened, though. And don't rip your connector for your fan. Just rock it side to side like that, and it'll come right out. No reason to yank on it violently. And then rip the connector off. That was so common on the PS4s, I remember. I remember fixing that all the time. And it's still common. Still common. Let's see. Oh, the 2 terabyte M2? Yeah. No, I'm sorry, not 2 terabytes, 1 terabyte. I think I said 1 terabyte. No, you can't read that. No, it's out here. It's just a 1 terabyte. It's crucial. Is that right? 1 terabyte. 1,000 gigabytes. Yeah, 1 terabyte. So, it's a model MP600 LPX. That I should really give to my son. I gave him a PS5 Slim that I had fixed. It's kind of a birthday present. He actually plays with his. And it's much more likely. I think he's kind of excited about GTA 6, although it's a year away. I was at his house yesterday, we were watching the trailer to it. I never played GTA 5 other than the very intro screen testing out a PlayStation. I just remember working on PS4s, the number of GTA 5 discs I found inside was ridiculous. PS5 Slim? Did I say slime? PS5 Slim? I gave him a Slim. But I used to, working on all those 4s, well, for 2-3 years there when I started this, almost every one of them had GTA 5 in it. It was weird. And I still have a stack of them, and I gave some away with the consoles, but I still have a stack of them. So probably take the AC power out of it. Set that to the side. I just leave the screws in the tops. I don't bother taking them out. Taking out the Blu-ray drive. Yep. Got some dust bunnies. I mean, I can't, at this point, well, I can take this stuff loose. Tell you what we'll do, we'll swap another supply in there just to confirm that it is just the supply. Because I happen to have a 400DR just recently repaired. Very nearby. So we can do that. But I am very hopeful it is just the supply Just have to be very careful though and not rip this ribbon cable, because it's going to be attached. Because on these models, you know, on the later models, they put that ribbon under a separate little coverage. You could access it and unplug it. But not on this model. Get these screws out in the back. All right, now. Try not to damage our antenna wires. All right, can we, let me get this ribbon cable slipped out just a little. Can we pick it up just enough to get our supply out here? Yes, we can. Here's our supply with antenna, and we'll grab the one we just fixed over here. Sticky notes already come off. Come on, ribbon cable. The ribbon cable and these little antenna wires always get in the way. All right, this is just temporary. Get our ribbon cable hooked up there, here. That's seated good. We'll hook our fan up. I don't have a cable hooked up to let you see the video out, but you'll see the white light, hopefully, if it turns on. Not going to bother with the Blu-ray. All right, now, can you see the... all right, I'm still going to be powering it from here again. This is our repaired supply in there. Let's pop this on. You should see that come up and then dip down and go back up. Like that. That's a supply that started. Will she start up and run? Let's see. No beep. Well, the beep could be turned off in the software. I've chased that before. Why isn't the speaker working? Well, you can turn it off in the settings. Blue light. Fan is spinning. We're getting a white light. Probably going to do a storage check, so I'm going to wait. Not going to shut it down. Let it do its little storage check. Oh, the oscilloscope. I don't use it much. Did that shut back down? I didn't see it. I don't use the scope much. I mean, you can use it for, you know, working on power supplies if you're very careful. You know, you can get looking at waveforms at the pulses and stuff. I haven't found it necessary yet. Because normally it's just one of the ICs or MOSFETs, maybe a Zener occasionally. So I haven't had to get down to looking at waveforms and pulse widths. And so, and the scope I've got, I do like this scope. It's only a 200 megahertz scope. It's turned out to be all I've needed. I don't have a spectrum analyzer, which is what you use for RF type stuff, because I don't really work on RF. I could, but I don't really have a lot of interest in it. But yeah, the scope doesn't get like most of the things you can do with a multimeter. You know, a good multimeter is about all you need. All right, I thought this was going to do a storage check, and I didn't see it do it, so now I'm going to hold down the power button. Still no beep, so I'm guessing the beep is off. We'll check that in the settings later on. Because if it's got a bad, you know, buzzer, I need to replace it while I'm in here. But I bet you it's turned off. I think kids do that a lot, so their parents don't know when they're firing up their PS5 in the middle of the night, you know. I don't know, it's just a theory. Okay, so that was our repaired supply in there. So we need to fix this other one. Let me take this fan out of the way. We'll just set all this to the side and try not to break anything. I need to blow this one out a little. It's a little dusty. And here is our dead supply with the antenna still connected. Oh, sorry, scopes. Yeah, I do like having. Of course, I've done a lot of audio work. I've got a signal generator up here that nobody's ever seen. It's a Rigel, just a little audio, a square wave, and make various different ways. But I was working on some analog intercom equipment, and I needed a signal source, and I needed to be able to look at the output, set some levels, and I used it for that a lot. Haven't used it a lot working on consoles. But I do sometimes, yeah, I want to check, there's several oscillators in the PS5. Of course, everybody knows the 32 kilohertz one that I've mentioned. There's also a, 25 megahertz at the South Bridge. And it outputs the 25 megahertz over to the HDMI encoder that has to be there. Alrighty. These I find easy to get into now compared to the Slims and the Pros. This is nothing. I have not seen a PS5 Pro yet in person. I don't know how many of them are out there. I mean, they've sold millions of PS5s. I don't know how many Pros they've sold. There we go. Oh, it's another one of those lovely green. Am I wrong? Are they all green? Or I was thinking there was another version of the DR. Maybe I don't know. I've got a box full of them I could open up over there, but I didn't think they were all like this. No roaches, no nastiness. Let's just check these. Any charge on these capacitors? Because I did just have it plugged in a moment ago. So if that fuse is not blown, these caps are probably going to have a little charge on them. And they do, 140 volts or so, and falling. So our fuse is good. Because if our fuse wasn't good, those caps wouldn't have any charge on them. All right. Is this going to be the exact same thing as the last one? And I apologize if it is. Hello, hello. What was the issue with the last power supply? It was the DAP053 and a little MOSFET, Q32, I think it was. And this may be the exact same thing. No, the big MOSFETs weren't bad or anything like that. Do I have my meter on? I do have my meter on. continuity mode. All right, we know the fuse is good because the capacitor is charged up. So what about the fusible resistor? It's good as well. That means these MOSFETs are good. Any shorts on the output? Nope, just some capacitors charging up. That's it. So this is going to be another DAP053. Oh, maybe they're just fragile. I don't know. Or maybe there was a lot of lightning storms. Let me look at it. Where's my little cheat sheet here? I have piled fan parts on top of it. I mean, for the most part, I don't really need this because I have an idea of what they should be. Nothing should be very close to 0 other than pin 4, which is ground. So I am in diode mode. Pin 1. Again, 0.01. So yeah, 2 is probably going to be low also. Yep. Pin 3, that's going to be normal. 4 is ground. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, no connection. That's what they call a high voltage spacer. 8. Well, that should be 1.1. Ooh, that one's shorted. Yeah, that's low. That should be 1.15 or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, like that one. So there's 16. Anyway, it's bad. It's going to be the exact same thing. And I'm sorry. This is how it goes. I already put up that drawer of TEA 2016s. Get it right back out. So, are we going to have a bad MOSFET here as well? Are we? Could be. Where? I'm sorry to say it could be the exact same repair. Which is why I really didn't do a video. Because I'm thinking, yeah, this is kind of boring. Every now and then you get a more interesting power supply repair, especially if it's lightning damage or if, bugs have been in it. I'm going to add a little lead solder to this one just to kind of help the process along. I did not popcorn that last board. I'm not going to popcorn this one. Not going to do it. Where are my tweezers? Oh, I put them back in my little holder. All right, this is 350C. Oops, let me get it kind of in the shot there. I'm sorry. Come on, there we go. Popped right up. Let me do a quick check. Make sure those shorts are gone. I believe it was 1 and 2. Yeah, it's in diode mode. Nothing. 0.5. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good. Yes, I already have a part out. Stay there. Okay. It's not going to stay there, is it? Nope. Again, these legs look so tarnished right out of the package. So I will be going over them. It's a little more solder than I needed, but whatever. I like to see it come up those legs. And be nice and shiny. I'll leave that alone. Made a bit of a mess with flux again. Let me heat this up a little. All right. But does it work? Does it work? Does it work indeed? Get my DC load connected. A little AC voltage in. I need to add the that stuff in there. All right. I'm going to wind that down. Try to get where you can see both of them there. On. See if it, let me turn this load on. So around 90, 100 volts it should start trying to run, if it's going to. Yep. 11.9. Seems a bit low, but then again that's metering over there. Trying to get where we can see the PFC voltage here. Capacitor to move a little. $3.95. How about that? And what do we got for output voltage right here? 12.025. Pretty good. Let's see if I can ease this up to go to like 10 amps or something. Yep, about 1.25 amps we're drawing. We're running. What's it called when they fail under load? I'm trying to remember. I've had at least one that would fail at around 8 amps or so, I want to say it was. I can't remember what that was. I would imagine it's something to do with one of the shutdown circuitries. And I probably would have disabled both of them to see if it made any difference, if it's falsely doing a shutdown. Possibility could be something in the current sampling. There's current sampling, you know, on the output, on the 12-volt output, and there's current sampling on the PFC circuit. Could have been a problem there where it thinks it's overcurrent. Wouldn't be temperature, I wouldn't think, because the temperature circuit in this thing, I think, just does a shutdown. If it gets a certain temperature, it doesn't like back off. It's like you're dead. It shuts it off. So, but I can't remember what it was. I've had one that was putting out 8 volts, I remember. I don't remember. It's probably in a video somewhere, but I can't remember what it was. This is working. It's a 10 amp load. If I see how much it overshoots if I turn this off. 409. Turn it back on. Yeah. Okay. Turn that off. Turn that off. Don't forget to discharge these capacitors before I put this back together. Looks good. Yeah, still had 240 volts on it. Okay. And I'm doing that just for safety's sake as I put it back in the box, up in its frame here. You know. And you can see how I carry them. And I'll grab the top of this transformer right here. Just being safe. I know I discharged those capacitors, but if you get in the habit of doing that, that one time you forgot to discharge them, you still won't get shocked. Because you're being very careful. Now I thought there was a... yeah, this has to snap in. There we go. Then it snapped in. Ooh, a little bit of dust there. So another supply repaired for about $2. That's what that IC costs from Mouser. $1.90 or something like that. All right. Now I gotta try to put it back in the chassis. And I gotta put this Yeah, I could put them on there. I know they were discharged. No, they were. For noisy. Oh, I mean, if it's making an audible noise? I don't know. Unless you've got some, like, coil whine going on. I haven't really encountered that. I've got to turn a fan on. I'm getting hot. All this power supply repairing. Where is, here it is, that antenna. Pop that back on there. Okay. Okay. I think that's about how it goes. And what to do with that chassis? Take you out. Put you in. Oh, come on. Get out of there. We'll just confirm that this does work in this chassis. I'm not going to bother hooking that up because I still need to take this board out and look at the liquid metal because it's never been opened before. It was sealed, so I know that liquid metal has left a dry spot, and I don't want to send it out of here that way. Okay, that's connected. Oh, let's put a fan in here. Leads keep falling. Get up there. All right. Okay. That wasn't seated all the way down. All right, I'll give it some AC voltage. Power supply started. And give it a second to initialize, and no beep still. I still got to make sure that that's just turned off in the menus. Do I have a cable right around here for that? I can't remember. I'll have to check it. White light. So we're booting. We are booting. Power supply's good. Let me shut her down. course, I can't hear the beeps because the speaker's not working. I do hope that's just turned off. Let me see if I have a, do I have a cable around here? I have an input on my capture card, you know, to show you the output of the console. I don't think I have a cable connected to it yet, just haven't. I think I'm short one long HDMI cable. It needs to be about 10 feet long to reach the back of my computer. Alrighty. We'll check it. I'll figure out something. Surely I have a cable. Alright, I'm going to have to, I got to take all these screws out. I have to know what that liquid metal looks like. I'll bet you there is a nice dry spot on top of the APU with a fingerprint. There's always a big fingerprint in the middle of it. Oops, where'd that one go? There it is. All right, did I forget anything? There we go. That one was had definitely never been opened before. Oh, and the two screws holding the board to the chassis. And what do we look like? And yay, a nice dry spot. And a corresponding dry spot on the top of the APU. And that is why we always check the liquid metal. Oh, the AC, AC copper protection may get me as well now that you mention it. You can go through, I know, like a splitter sometimes and strip that off, but you know, I haven't done that. You may have a point there, JFix. I may have to get me a splitter or something to strip that with, because it probably would not work. Hadn't thought about that. Because of the HD copper protection, because they don't want you playing like Blu-ray movies and, you know, straight ripping it off. Had not considered that. Because normally I just hook it to a monitor and video the monitor. All right. Let me use one of these fancy black ones here. There you go. That looks pretty good. Can you tell? Pretty nice and even. Now if we can get this board to do the same thing. Throw this back together. I probably do need to blow some dust out of it. Well, there's not a lot of dust in it. This thing was very clean. I wonder if it has seen very little use. I mean, we could pull off the NOR chip and read its contents and get the number of hours that it has been running, but I don't particularly want to do that. I'm not that curious. I know that data is in there. Runtime, number of power on and offs. All right, that's cleaned up pretty nicely. All right, that should be good for a couple of years or something. I don't know. Put her back in here. Let's see. I think this is the last PS5 I had in my queue. I do have a Switch Lite. I need to take a look at. I've worked on, I don't know, probably 30 Switch Lites here recently. For some reason. There's not really a lot of money to be made on a Switch Lite, but I kind of enjoyed it, so I did it anyway. I make like 20 bucks or something on them. But it was fun. It's still rewarding, you know, if you know what I mean, to bring something back to life. And I gave one to my wife, who decided the screen was too small. So now I've got an OLED coming for her that I've got to repair. I think it has a bad screen. But somewhere in a box over here, I have an OLED chassis with a good screen, I think. I ended up buying, this is, who knows, a year ago I bought an OLED off eBay, and I got the thing in. There's no circuit board in it. It's just an empty chassis. Yep. But anyway, I kept it thinking, well, at least it's a good display. I think it's a good display. I really don't know. It could be shattered inside. I guess I'll find out soon. Oh, yeah, JFix, I have used a splitter before. At work, actually. They were trying to get the signal from a satellite receiver to a projector, and it wouldn't pass. And we figured out if we went through this splitter that was there, it would pass. I mean, we learned about HDCP at that time. We know it works, but it just won't go to the projector. It won't show it. Something like that. I can't remember if it was a projector. Maybe it wasn't a projector. It may have went through some type of, I can't remember now. I remember we had to go through a splitter. I don't remember the brand, but going through that, and it worked. But I do need to look into that for my little setup here. Don't I? Do a check to see. I'm assuming my capture card, which is just a cheap Chinese no-name brand 4-input capture card, and I'm using it under Linux. I'm wondering if it's, going to still do the HDCP thing, if they're going to, which I guess is a standard they're supposed to, but you know that the Chinese don't always adhere to some standards sometimes, but I haven't tested it. Should probably do that. Because, well, I guess I could. I may have to hook this up to test it. We'll hook it up to my monitor off to the side, and I may have to flip this little webcam around just to show that it's working. Something else I did not do while I was in there. I did not look at the HDMI port. Let's hope it's good, because I'm putting all the screws back in it. It's going to be really bad if I have to take it all back apart again just to replace the HDMI port, given the number of screws that are involved. Anybody else streaming today? I haven't noticed. This is not a regular day for Joey, I don't believe. Tomorrow would be. Not sure about Swindon. I'm more of the guerrilla streaming, I guess, like guerrilla warfare. It's just random times, just pop up and do a stream, and then fade away for weeks at a time. And I did not have plans to stream today, but what the heck. I've got these power supplies to fix. People like power supply repairs, I guess, because, well, I don't think anybody else is doing power supply repairs. They just throw them in the garbage. All right, what did I forget? Is that it? Yeah, I really should have tested this thing before I put all these screws in it, shouldn't I? It's gonna work. It's gonna work. There's no reason for it to not work. It just had a dead supply. absolutely certain it wasn't lightning that went all through this thing and destroyed it. No, it's booting to a white light. It's not the right tweezers. These little white, pieces of paper they use on this cable. I've tried to use some little white, labels like you get from Walmart. Where are those things? I can't. They're in my bottom of my drawer here, but they don't stick. They will not stick to this stuff. I don't know. They're just like paper stickers, but the ones, that I get at Walmart, they won't stick. Okay. So I end up using, some of that Captain tape, which will stick on there. Doesn't look very factory, but they will stick. And I need to blow this thing out some. But let's leave it back together. Where did I do that screw right there? No, it's probably in the, yeah, it's in the drawer. Almost forgot the screws in the back. Almost forgot them. And then this, oh, you know what I forgot? That screw that goes right about there. That one, I forgot. Yep. And I can't leave it out. Slightly OCD that way, I suppose. I always replace all the screws. If there's missing screws, I replace them. Yeah, that one right there. Wake up, my computer went to sleep over there. Wake up. Don't shut down on me. Oops. I know one of them made it to the floor. All right, now where's the one I dropped? There it is. Set this fan in here. Let me set it up off to the side here and actually see some video out of this thing. What did I do with that? Oh, that. Come on. All right, now, let's see if I can get this set up over here. Out off to the side. Well, will that turn that way? Yes. Yes, it will. Kinda. Sorta. All right. Will she turn on? I bet it does. Still no beep. We gotta figure out why that doesn't beep. We have a logo. Hello, Chlor Slug. Just me streaming today? Yeah, I think that Swindon may have done a long way. I didn't catch it all. I mean, 6 hours is a lot for me to commit. Alrighty. Can we... Hang on. Where? There we go. A little easier to see. Wow, it's a lot of stuff in this thing. What firmware do we have? Oh, 11.0. Yeah, it's like the latest, I think. So, it failed recently. Sound? Audio output? Where's that? Sound effects. Where's that beep? Beep sound. It's on. We got a bad beeper. It's on. I was pretty sure it was going to be off. Oh, did Swindon stop by? Well, hello. Hello, Andy. I thought I was done with this one, but now it's not. The button doesn't. I mean, the little internal speaker is not beeping. Not that it's a huge thing, but still. Mute your beep. Oh wait, it's flipped on, so on means mute. Okay, okay. Mute beep sound. So turn it. Now mute is not on. Okay, that scared me. Mute was on. I thought the beep was on, but no, mute was on. All right, now let's just check this theory out. Now get back out of here. So, will it beep and go to sleep? No, I didn't hear a beep. What's it doing now? Do we have to press and hold it? Usually it responds pretty quick, I thought. Let me press. There it goes. I guess you have to hold it a fraction of a second there. I never noticed. She beeped. She works. Because I was dreading going back in there just to replace that tiny little speaker. Power. We've been doing power supply repairs. But we fixed the beep. The beep thing, it was just muted in the settings. It does beep now, yes. I'll wake it back up. It's still trying to go to sleep. The light's still flashing. We're beeping. I wonder if I check the disk out. It's not an old firmware, unfortunately. Another one for sale? Yeah, probably soon. I've got, I think the previous one I fixed is on firmware 8.0, so I may sit on that one for a while. You know, if you know what I mean. I may sit on that one. And I've got a 6.02 I need to sell over here. Yeah. That's a 6.02 over here. I've got some Switch Lites for sale. All kinds of goodies. Okay. Let me see if this thing will, if it'll read a disk. I bet there's not room. Looking at the number of games they've got installed, there may not be room for this on there, but at least it'll tell me if it's reading the disk or not. Takes it in good. Otherwise, I got to take it back apart to clean the rollers. Come on. There we go. Yeah, we're reading. It hasn't complained about lack of storage yet. Okay. That's working. I need to blow it out some. Can't wait. Yeah, I do have a Switch Lite to work on. Should I do that in the stream, or should I just end the stream now? I mean, how long have I been streaming now? How long have I been streaming? Oh, 2 hours, man. I do have a Switch Lite. Actually, I bought it. Well, I need to switch. You can see it there. I need to switch to this other camera. That's installing. Has a fan in it. Someone from Los Angeles sent you one. Man, they sent that a long way. Oh, he wants to see, probably because he wants to see you fix it on stream mostly. Let me switch back to, where's my overhead? Okay. So you're streaming tomorrow, is it? Oh yeah, tomorrow. You start pretty early in the morning for here. I've got a switch I'm going to be modding because it is banned. So I figured, well, I might as well just mod the thing. I've had a heck of a time getting the mods in off eBay. The Pico flies. Apparently because the package is so small, it just keeps getting lost. I've had like 3 of them lost. There's one. All right, are we looking at a Switch Lite? 3 p.m. British, 7 a.m. Oh, goodness. Okay, I can get up at 7 a.m. Wait a minute, 7 a.m. Pacific? I just know you start really early. I'll be laying in bed about to get up, and I'll get a notification that you're about to stream. This Switch Lite, where's my power supply for my Switch Lite? For my switches. I kind of get it out of the way when I'm working on other stuff. It's an official Nintendo charger. And by the way, this thing is just immaculate condition. It could be, completely waterlogged inside, who knows, but the screws don't look like they've ever been touched. It's so clean. So it's charging. And when I first connected the charger to it, I got the battery indicator. But I think that's all I've ever gotten is a battery indicator in the corner. Let's see what happens. 15 volts, 120 milliamps. Yep, low battery indicator. Okay, you'd think that's fine. 0.1 is just a dead battery. But I don't think I've got it to go past this. I haven't opened it yet. Yeah, she's staying on low battery. But I think what it did last time, the low battery indicator went away. And I never got anything else on the screen. The current went up. The current went up to 0.4, 0.5, whatever it was. But I couldn't get anything on the screen. But the screen's obviously good. We got the battery indicator. So right at the moment, that just looks like a dead battery charging. Yeah, that's what I thought, just dead battery. But this went, I left it charging. I didn't let it fully charge, but I left it on there several minutes while I was doing something else. Because what I expected was, that'll go away. It'll boot up when it gets to enough, bad enough charge in the battery. It never did it. It just kind of went black. I don't think I can get the battery indicator to come back up then. But we'll just say we'll let it sit there a second. Because, yeah, 0.11, that looks to me like it's just a flat battery, totally dead. Maybe it's got a bad battery. I have not encountered one with a bad battery yet. It does look like, I think I asked in the stream the other day, the Switch Lite will charge a completely dead battery. Like I thought some of the early Switches wouldn't, but the Switch Lite, starting at 0, if it's a good battery, seems like it will charge it. Okay. Have a good day. Is it Nice Dragon? Thanks for coming by. Yeah, Paul Daniels, I catch him. I emailed Paul. He never responded. I was asking about something. He's a busy man. Yeah, but when I worked on, oh look, see now it's up to 0.47. We still have the, I would swear you, the other day when I looked at this, that went away. It was just black. But the current went to 0.47. That sounds good. That sounds like it's a little faster charging now. That doesn't seem like a bad thing. And I was thinking, hey, this is just going to be a dead battery on this, and this is easy. And that may be easy, but I think it was yesterday, the day before, when I was looking at it, I'd swear it just went black. Our PS5 is still installing, 64%. Yeah. I didn't put it fully back together, that PS5, because I need to take it out and blow some air through it and give it a good dusting before I fully put it back together. Is it still? It looks normal, 0.47. It's probably going to start this time. Oh. Let's see what else. I've got a Switch Lite here that I did not repair because it has about 20 ripped pads under the APU. And I said, no thank you. I will pass on that. Which one is that one? I did remove the APU, of course, to see. I was pretty sure that was because I want to say the case was bent on it or something. Is this it? Oh, I'll show you. Let me see. No, I don't. On Twitch. No, I don't stream on Twitch. I don't. Not at this time. Not that I'm totally opposed to it. I just never have. Let's take a look at this lovely piece of art. There you go. Now you can see them. get my microscope to cooperate. Alrighty. Look up in that corner. That's not too bad. I want to say it's the other corner here. Yeah. That's a lot of rip pads. I knew what you meant, Swindon. I knew. But yeah, I just kind of what I was thinking about is pulling. I do have the APU. I haven't reballed it. It's nice and clean, not damaged. I've got a board with a dead APU. I could transfer that over. No, you got to transfer the APU, and there's like a security IC, I believe, that has to transfer over as well. And I just have not. I know I've got one with a shorted APU. I could do that too. I just have not been motivated yet to do it. And there's another rip in that corner. All right, see, look. This switch has gone dark now. I just want to share that one with all the rip pads for you there. See, this is what it did to me the other day. Low battery indicator's gone. We're surcharging at 0.47. If I hit home, though, nothing. If I hit the power button, nothing. I thought maybe it was just, there was no video. No, it was blind, playing blind. But no, there's nothing. Power button. Feels nice and clicky. It's doing something. Home. So that's how it went the other day. And I don't think I could ever get the charge indicator. I guess maybe the battery's gone down some when I left it unplugged. But yeah, that's the state of it. Mustafa, okay, if you have holes in your motherboard, it's probably done. Yeah, sometimes when those DR-MOS ICs short, it draws a lot of current because you've got a 12-volt supply capable of delivering 32 amps, 31 amps. So something has to give, and they did not fuse the 12-volt rail. So if something shorts on that 12-volt rail, and the power supply doesn't have time to shut down, it will burn a hole in the board. You can fix it. Is it reliable? Probably not. So, Mr. Switch Lite. I don't know, this thing could be full of water. I just thought it was odd behavior. Well, let's just open it up. I have not opened it. Actually, I don't even have my my screwdrivers out. The tri-wings and whatever for let's see. But looking at the heads of these screws, I don't think it's ever been opened. So I'm not sure what would cause this behavior, because the M92 seems to be working. It's negotiating the 15 volts. Need a better screwdriver for these Phillips, those top ones. Yeah, I think that's a better one. I don't think it's been opened. I could be wrong. Well, no signs of water whatsoever. Not yet, anyway. I can't see the little water indicator. But almost every Switch Lite I've worked on has been liquid damaged. I mean, almost every one of them. Nope. Nothing on the water indicator. No signs of liquid damage. Let's see what this battery voltage is, shall we? I'm sure it's got a little bit of voltage in it. .57. Okay, not a fully charged battery. Doesn't this just need to charge some more? What did the seller say? I think it just said that it wouldn't turn on. Let me check. Let me check just right quick, like yellow switch. I do have a couple more Switch Lites coming. Just says console only. Console does not power on. No further testing done. Console itself is in pristine condition. Good for parts or repair. Well, that's accurate. She is in pristine condition. It's the fuel gauge IC. I do have some of those. I'll plug it back in. I don't think it's not even giving the battery indicator anymore. Just a second. I think my dog wants to go outside. Come on. All right, and I'm back. .7 minimum before it'll even try to turn on. Okay. Let's see what we're getting while it's charging here. 3.9. 3.92 and climbing. Kind of think it should be on right now. should be up and, working, and just telling you it's got 2% battery or whatever. Is this EPU is just slightly warm. So I don't know. What is it? Non-liquid damaged. 0.47 amps. All right, Swindon, what is it? Everything's a little delayed for me. For some reason. I don't know if I could refresh this window and let's see what happens when I refresh this. It says I have an excellent connection. So I don't know what it is. We know the display is good though. It gives the battery indicator, when you first start charging it. It's just later on, it does not start up. And that doesn't really ring any bells with me. .96, 968. She's charging. That heatsink does feel slightly warm, like there's a processor running. Nothing in the game card slot, nothing in the SD card slot. No corrosion. On these connectors. I'll go ahead and take this heatsink off. And may go ahead and pull that game card reader off, just in case it's causing an issue. Also, I have not tried disconnecting the battery for a time and see if that does anything. Just don't think that's going to do it. All right. Power button okay. Where'd Andy go? Andy? I thought you had all the answers on these things. I do have some more power buttons. I do. I did buy some of those. Where are those? Oh. Look at there. Brand new. Never used one of these. I hope they're identical. Just a bit fidgety because they're not trained to turn the right way like the original one is. All right. Or I could have just stuck my tweezers in there and done it that way, I suppose. Just don't recall the pins. All right, I'm going to hit the power button on it here. Nothing. Current didn't change. Nothing. That is slightly warm there where the APU is. Like it's not totally brain dead. I am going to take this battery loose. And hope that it forgets all of its troubles. Did Andy move on? I think he moved on. Well, he is a legitimate businessman. He's got things to do. That's true. I can hook the I'll leave the battery disconnected. Let's see what current it draws with no battery connected. Nothing. Negotiates the 15.2. No current draw. I would consider that a good thing. Doesn't sound like there's a short. Hook the battery back up. Put this ribbon cable back in there. All right. Now, what does it do? I'll just hook the cable, charger back up to it. Let's see what it does. Goes to 0.48 immediately. I do have a low battery indicator. I did have that momentary. All right, now she's rebooting. Look at there. I saw a reboot. That rebooted, that flashed off and back on again, but we still don't have a picture. Now that's weird. I believe that processor's running. But the only video I get is the low battery indicator. Now that's a weird one. The girl gauge. Okay, I'll check the girl gauge. You think fuel gauge? Because it is saying fuel gauge. It is saying low battery, even though it's, you know, approaching 4 volts. It is saying. There's no such thing as an RCM mode on a Switch, is there? On a Switch Lite, I mean, on a Switch Lite, Fuel gauge? Is that what Andy said? He thinks the fuel gauge. I don't know. I do have some brand new fuel gauge ICs. Maybe the fuel gauge is, because we'll take this board out. Maybe there's a load of liquid damage on the other side of this board that I'm, have no clue is there. Maybe the fuel gauge is about corroded off the board. Just don't think so. It looks awful clean. Very, very clean. But, well, I'll do it. We can't fix it by sitting here staring at it. Or can we? Of course, our fuel gauge is on the other side of the board. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I'm sitting here. I've 3D printed one of these things, one of these little holders, and I've been waiting for a chance to use it, and I just sit here and just plain forgot about it. Look at there. Now it doesn't rock around, and I'd forgotten. Yeah, I was looking for this opportunity to use this thing, and I had plain forgot about it. Still moves a little. At least it's not rocking around on those on the analog sticks. Okay, got that. Do the fuel gauge ICs just fail without corrosion? I don't know. And one more up here. And the fan connector, get that on loose. Our Wi-Fi Bluetooth antennas. What else? Then we pop right out. Revealing absolutely no corrosion whatsoever. I'm going to take this speaker loose before I damage it. There it is. Very, very clean. Okay, was that a... do I take donations? Not at this time, I don't. I don't really have any way of taking any donations. Hello. So you think it's still the fuel gauge IC? I could see that. And that is a Max 17050, such as that. We do have some brand new ones. Looks like I've used one. Let's see. So there she is. Very, very clean. No corrosion whatsoever. What did I do? I'm looking for something. I'm sure I put it up in some place where I wouldn't lose it. I'm looking for a metal shield I had. I was going to lay it over that port. I just don't want to melt that port. And now that I actually need that little shield that has been laying on my workbench for days, it's gone. Okay, never mind. I'll put a little tape on it. I just don't want to melt that. I mean, I'll do my best to angle the hot air away from it and all that. I just don't want to melt it any. Although this is probably going to come up. Alrighty. And it mounts upside down. Everybody remember that. Okay. You know, I need to, hang on a second. Let me change nozzles. I've got a tiny nozzle. I'm going to use that. I just never have activated the memberships. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like the idea of people giving me money. You know what I'm saying? I'm weird that way. I'm just weird that way. All right, now I'm trying to use a little less heat. These boards are so thin, it shouldn't take more than like 350, 360 or something to get this thing off here. Would we agree? I mean, it's a tiny little chip. Okay. Let's see if I can get that wicked off. It is a tiny little. I think I got that reasonably clean. And there's something on that cotton swab. I shouldn't have been using that one. That was a used cotton swab, and now I've got some kind of debris all over the board. All right. Now, let me ask the experts out there. I've had trouble with some of these little chips. Yeah, I haven't tried that. I've seen the Paul Daniels hot. I haven't done it though. I usually just do it the old-fashioned way. Yep, upside down. I've had trouble, and y'all can do it with some of these small max chips on this board. If I use max airflow on my hot air station, it seems to push the chip down and like flatten the balls together where they merge. So I've started kind of experimenting with using a little less hot air to not squish it down. Because it just seems like they tend to, especially if I reball it, you know, with some paste, that stuff just seems to flatten out so easily. So when I go put this back on, I'm going to back down my airflow a little, because it just seems like it wants to, it squishes it, flattens it out. And there's just, you know, the tolerances are kind of tight up under this thing. There's not room to be doing that. That's just my experience so far. All right. Get this back where I can see it a little. All right, which way is this thing turned? Wrong way. There we are. And the other thing is aligning these stupid things, because there's no markers to go by. Yeah, I've got the Quick 861 DW. 20%, is that what you use? That's pretty low. Is it 20% or 20? Because, you know, on these 861s it goes from 0 to 120. I'll back it down. How about 35? I'm still at 365. But the other trick I found is keeping this little thing aligned, because you're kind of guessing. I guess there's a mark in that upper right-hand corner. Now this makes me nervous. Trying to, well, maybe I can. It's hard to hold it. With the airflow this low, maybe it won't go flying. I don't know, I think it's going to go flying. Maybe I'll back it down a little further. There's 25. I have not done a lot of these. I didn't see it wiggle much at all. See if I can nudge it a little. No, I don't think she's down. She just popped right up. Let me take the heat off. And I'm going to see if it's stuck any at all. And if it is, I'll put some flux under it and we'll hit it again, maybe a little more air. Yeah. She's at least stuck down. Let me cut the air up a little bit more. About 50. Let me get my little feeler. Nope. I really dislike these ICs. I really dislike them. Nope. Does not seem to nudge back into place. It looks crooked right now. Well, maybe then. Yeah, okay, now she's snapping back. What do we think? Utter failure? Is it leaded or unleaded? It's from the factory, so I would guess unleaded. So I think I've got that same hot air station you used, the one with everything built into the handle. That was the first one I started with. I still have it. The element finally went out in it. I did replace the element. I've got it as a backup now. Think you're good there. I thought it snapped back. Tell you what we'll do. We'll look at it from the side, and we'll just see. We'll just see. It's probably a little toasty right now. It's got a ton of flux under it right now. I need to clean it a little. So let it cool off a little. I can't tell there's so much flux under it. That actually doesn't look bad. I mean, it looks somewhat level. I think I did forget that it was, we're dealing with a chip that's probably got lead-free solder on it. Because it was right out of the package. Let me see if I can clean it just a little. And maybe get a better look at it. See if I can maybe blow stuff out from under it. All right, now what does it look like? Well, I can get a pretty good view from this side. If I can get it in focus. Still got a ton of flux under it. And I could clean it out of there. I'd have to heat it up a little to get it to come out from under there, but I think it's going to be fine. I don't think flux is going to bother this chip. At least I got it level. What do you think? That'll work? I think we're going to find out here in a second. All right. I guess I need to hook everything back up. You know, I need the display to be able to tell if it's working. Oh, just pulled the cover right off the Wi-Fi Bluetooth area with my tape. That's a new one. All right. I'll go ahead and hook my speaker back up here. Just in case. So we think it was the fuel gauge, I see. Well, it was always saying that the battery was totally flat. All right, that's down in there. Screwdriver. I'm going to put a few screws in it just around the board just to hold things in place. Okay. All right, I'm going to use the microscope to hook these cables up. They're kind of small to my old eyes. Microscope. Yeah, I've seen Andy do them. Just flip them in there with the naked eye. I like to look under the microscope just to make sure I'm not, because I have damaged these connectors before. Not in a long time, but you know, this connector, like on the Switch, the video LCD connector. Yeah. You get too aggressive with that thing, you bend a pin, and then you get to replace a connector, which I would not have attempted 3 years ago. Wouldn't even thought about it. I would not have even thought about replacing one of those connectors. Now I would. But that seemed like one of those impossible tasks years ago. Can't replace that connector, it'd just melt. Okay. I'll hook these antennas. I always hook these antennas up because I hate to think about them floating around in here and getting against something. That's the only reason I do it. All right. Battery. And our old friend, the 29-pin connector. I think that's all we need. All right. I think I have everything we need just to, yeah. What do we think? Is it going to work? Is it going to work? Let's see. Yep, let's find out. 0.5 amp straight away. Low battery on the fuel gauge. Reboot. Still no video. Not the fuel gauge. It would seem not the fuel gauge. So I will add that little fuel gauge IC to my box of parts. Maybe, if it'll not stick to my tweezers. There we go. Well, doesn't seem to have been the fuel gauge. It did not change the behavior at all. Yeah, I don't know what's up. It acts the exact same. You only get the battery level indicator if I disconnect the battery and reconnect it and then plug in the power. Then it will know, it will just momentarily give you that low battery indicator, and that's it. I will hit the power button on it just for the heck of it though. Nothing. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I will do this again though, just to show. I'm going to disconnect this, disconnect the battery, which I need to check that battery level. Should be close to 3.9 now. Reconnect the battery, and reconnect the 29-pin cable, and I'll just show you what it's doing again. It's going to go straight to 0.48, but you'll see the battery indicator, but you will see it reboot. 0.48. Oh, now it's in the green. The battery is. rebooted. The battery level changed. How about that? Now it had a green bar on the battery indicator, but we're not doing anything. That's an odd one to me. I mean, for one that doesn't have corrosion all over the board like they usually do. So is this going to be possibly a software issue? In which case I may have to install a PicoFly and see if that will, prompt it to start up. I've done that before on a Switch. Basically jailbroke it so I could recover the firmware. I've done it, it worked. I have not done it on a Switch Lite though, because you can't remove the eMMC on the Lite, not readily anyway. I could. This switch was not modded. Yeah, I could put a mod chip in there. Maybe what I have to do. I don't think a Lite has the RCM mode. I don't think it does. But yeah, I can install a PicoFly and see what happens. I mean, this looks kind of like a software issue where it's all the hardware is go. I mean, we get a video display. It recognizes the battery is there. It's almost like when it, goes to start executing its software, something is missing. Let me see what that battery voltage is. Yeah, I could solder a wire to it and bring up the, to see the current draw. .98 volts. Yeah, she should be running there. Very, very odd. I do have a mod chip. I don't know if I really want to install it right now, though. I've done it on a regular Switch. The Switch Lite's not much different. Just little different points to connect to, I know. Just don't know that I'm up for that right now. Yep. And I do have one with the Switch Lite ribbon. I mean, yeah, the light ribbon. I do have that. All of them doesn't come because you don't have to have the ribbons, so you could solder wires directly. But the ribbons are awfully nice and neat. Battery in the green indicator. And we reboot. And we're stuck. Okay. I'm thinking a software issue. That's what I'm thinking. Yes, it was USPS. Because they can lose all your stuff and it doesn't matter. They still have a job. Doesn't matter if they lose it, throw it in the garbage. They're like a protected species. You can't, you have no recourse. So I ordered like 3 or 4 of them, and almost all of them have been lost. It's such a small package it comes in. And I think it falls down in equipment. I don't know, will a PC recognize a Switch Lite? Oh, it's been 3 hours. This one has not been modded. I don't really have another battery. Maybe I do right here somewhere. Oh, the Wi-Fi yeah, Wi-Fi modules are tiny too. Well, guys, I'm going to take a break. I think that's about all for today. But we got a couple of PS5s fixed. I'm not done with this Switch Lite. I will try it. I'm not giving up on it totally. I'm just not in the mood to install the Pico Fly. It's just kind of tedious. Oh yeah, you see all the comments now, Swindon? Okay. Well, I'll be sure to check your stream out tomorrow. Well, you can go back and watch the replay of the stream if you want, Swindon. Andy, I should call you Andy. I hope everybody enjoyed it. We'll do it again soon. I've always got PS5s to fix and supplies, and that's my main thing is PS5s and its power supplies. I do try to venture out sometimes into new grounds like these things. So anyway, I'll catch you tomorrow, Andy, and I'll probably just be lurking. I'll just be lurking. All right, bye everybody. Thanks for coming by though. I'll catch you in that next one.